Arnold Schwarzenegger, the legendary figure who claimed the Mr. Olympia title 7 times, stands as an icon in the world of bodybuilding. For decades, he's been celebrated, not just for his unparalleled achievements, but also for his role in bringing bodybuilding to the mainstream. His passion and dedication to the sport have been unquestionable. So, it took the world by surprise when this very champion voiced criticism against the very sport that defined much of his life.
I think that the sport of bodybuilding is at a crossroads. I think that the sport of bodybuilding could go through the roof and accepted by the general public in a huge way and become part of the Olympics, become an Olympic sport and be on television and be in everything. Or it regresses.
Everyone's now wondering, what could lead the greatest bodybuilder of all time to critique the field he once dominated? What has changed in the landscape of bodybuilding that has caused such a reaction from Arnold? This isn't just a simple critique. It's a moment that has the entire fitness community pausing and reflecting. Bodybuilding, once a sport celebrated for its emphasis on discipline, aesthetics, and human potential, is now facing some challenging perceptions. Over recent years, there has been a significant shift in how people view bodybuilders and the sport itself. Here's a deeper look into the current reputation of bodybuilding. In the past, bodybuilders were often admired for their perfect balance of muscle, symmetry, and overall fitness. People looked up to them as the pinnacle of what the human body could achieve through hard work and dedication. They were athletes, artists even, sculpting their bodies to perfection. However, today, many people see bodybuilding more as a freak show. Instead of admiring the athletes for their discipline, they are gawked at, or even ridiculed for their extreme sizes and proportions. This change in perception is not entirely unfounded. The modern era of bodybuilding seems to value sheer size above all else. The bigger, the better. This quest for size has led to the emergence of what many term mass monsters. Bodybuilders who are enormous with muscles bulging in ways that seem beyond natural. To the general public, such physiques can appear exaggerated and even grotesque, leading to a mix of awe, disbelief, and sometimes even repulsion.
We have to find our sweet spot. I don't know exactly the answer, but I think that the sport should work diligently towards that goal.
A significant factor playing into this negative perception is the association of bodybuilding with steroids. Steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs have been a controversial topic in many sports, but perhaps none more so than bodybuilding. While steroids can help increase muscle size and reduce recovery time, they come with a host of health risks. More importantly, their use raises ethical questions about fairness in competition and the true essence of the sport. It's widely believed that the rise of mass monsters is directly linked to the prevalent use of steroids in the bodybuilding community. The general public often assumes that these colossal sizes can't be achieved without chemical assistance. This assumption, whether true or false, taints the sport, causing many to dismiss modern bodybuilders as mere products of drug use rather than dedicated athletes. Arnold Schwarzenegger has voiced concerns about the direction the sport is taking. Arnold has pointed out several issues with the modern approach to bodybuilding. Let's dive into some of his major criticisms.
When you have guys come out one after the next to just go, they barely can get their breath together, and then the stomach hangs out, and then they hit the shot, and the neck is 23 inches, and the calves are 18. The proportion is gone in order to be a champion. In the old days, you always had to bring something else to the table. I think that we will have more and more people shy away from that and say, I don't want to look like that.
First and foremost, Arnold has pointed out the lack of proportionality among today's top bodybuilders. In his time, bodybuilders were celebrated not just for their size, but also for how balanced their muscles looked. It wasn't just about having big muscles, it was about having the right muscles at the right size. Every muscle from the biceps to the calves needed to be in harmony with the rest. Today, it seems some bodybuilders are focusing more on size without considering how their muscles balance with one another. This focus on size above all else can lead to a physique that, while impressive, might look unbalanced. Another concern raised by Arnold is the seeming disregard for aesthetics and symmetry in modern bodybuilding. Aesthetics refers to the beauty and appeal of the physique, while symmetry means that both sides of the body are mirrored perfectly. Back in the day, these were fundamental principles of bodybuilding. It wasn't enough to be big. A bodybuilder had to look like a work of art. Their bodies were like sculptures, with every muscle perfectly crafted and positioned. Today, the importance of aesthetics and symmetry appears to be less of a priority for some competitors, which is a departure from the sport's original values. Lastly, Arnold has spoken out against the appearance of distended stomachs among bodybuilders, which is often called the bubble gut. This is when a bodybuilder's stomach protrudes in a way that seems out of place compared to their chiseled abs and muscles. In Arnold's eyes, this is a clear distortion and a sign that something's not right. Bodybuilding was always about showcasing the best of human physique, and such distortions detract from the overall appeal. The general public, too, often finds these physical anomalies off-putting, which doesn't help the sport's reputation.
Bodybuilders and the professional sport of bodybuilding has gone the next step. But now, just as people got used to buying in that this is a beautiful body, where all of a sudden the body does not look as acceptable. So therefore, when you look at the stage, simply because it's too big, it's too enormous, and it doesn't have any talent behind it. Flips and splits and posing and dynamics and great looks and choreographed things that is so entertaining. You see performances that will make you just say, oh my God, how did they do that? That you can easily sell on television.
In essence, while bodybuilding has evolved over the years, Arnold believes that some changes haven't been for the better. He champions a return to the foundational principles of proportionality, aesthetics, and symmetry. It's a call to remember what made bodybuilding so admired in the first place, and to ensure that modern competitors uphold these timeless values. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a clear vision for the future of the sport. He doesn't just see it as a competition to become the biggest. Instead, he dreams of a shift back to prioritizing a beautiful body. But what does he mean by this?
Like it was in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Back again to become a subculture where it's only for a limited amount of characters. I think we worked very hard to get it out of that in the 70s, and we were successful in convincing people that this is a beautiful body.
By a beautiful body, Arnold refers to a physique that is balanced, symmetrical, and proportionate. It's not about just packing on muscle without thought to how it looks. It's about crafting a body that's appealing, much like an artist would craft a sculpture. The body should look harmonious, with each muscle complementing the others, not overpowering them. Arnold also stresses the need for bodybuilders to inspire the average person. In his view, bodybuilding should be about setting an example that others want to follow. When people see a bodybuilder, they should think, I want to be like that, or I want to work towards that. This was the sentiment in the golden era of bodybuilding when the physiques, while muscular, were still relatable. Today, however, some bodybuilders have become so massive that they appear almost otherworldly. While their dedication and hard work are commendable, their look might not inspire the average person. Instead, it could intimidate or even alienate them. Arnold believes this isn't the direction the sport should take, but how should the change occur? The core of his concern lies in how bodybuilding competitions are judged. He feels that the current criteria focus too much on sheer size and not enough on the overall look and appeal of the bodybuilder. This means that instead of rewarding bodybuilders who have a balanced and attractive physique, those who are just massive, even if they don't look proportionate, might get higher scores. Arnold isn't just sharing his thoughts and leaving it there. He's asking for action. He wants to see a shift in the judging system. He believes that if the criteria change, then bodybuilders will adapt. They'll train in ways that align with the new standards, leading to a return to the classical and aesthetic physiques that once defined the sport. But how do we make this change happen? Arnold has an answer for that too. He's calling on all of us, especially those within the bodybuilding community and the media, to voice our concerns. The more people talk about it, the harder it becomes for the current system to stay in place. He encourages fans, fitness magazines, bloggers, and even casual observers to speak up. The idea is that if there's enough public pressure, those in charge of the sport will have to take notice. They'll see that people want to return to the classic physiques, and hopefully, they'll adjust the judging criteria accordingly. In short, Arnold is asking everyone to come together for the betterment of bodybuilding. He believes in the power of collective voice and action. He's seen what bodybuilding was, knows what it has become, and has a vision for what it can be again. Now, he's urging all of us to help make that vision a reality. Arnold Schwarzenegger really cares about bodybuilding. He's not just a past champion, he wants the sport to be great in the future too. Arnold dreams of a time when bodybuilding will inspire many people, just like in the old days. He thinks that if bodybuilding goes back to its original style, focusing on beautiful and balanced bodies, more people will love and respect it. Arnold's hope is that bodybuilding will be about more than just being the biggest. It should be about being the best version of yourself. In simple words, Arnold loves bodybuilding and wants it to be the best it can be. He believes that if it goes back to the way it was, more people will be inspired by it.